Welcome, everybody. Happy Friday. Let's see who's here. Feel free to say hello in the chat. Let us know who you are, where you're joining from, how you're doing today, and when was the last time you were here with us? I think the last time I was on Insight Timer was, oh, that's right, it was February 24th. So almost 2 weeks ago. But nice to see you again. Nice to be back. If this is your first time with me, my name is Jackie Mancuso. We're here today to talk about astrology, and then we'll pull some oracle cards to see how the astrology wants to work with us. I see Bobby says hello. Lisa says hi, Jackie and friends. Levi, hello. It's been a little while. Yes, yes. Jojo, hi, Magical Jackie and wonderful community from Colorado. Welcome, Jojo. Marie from Miami, first time. Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Marie. Jackie, good day all. Glad to see you. That is my dog moving my computer. Piston's laying under the desk and he is always all over the power cords, and sometimes like my light turns off and he definitely just moved the computer. Lori says, hello, everyone, and Jackie. Happy to be here today. Nice to see you, Lori. If you guys are joining for the first time, I used to be on Insight Timer all of the time, and then I went through a sabbatical. Hi, geez, Piston. When was it? Mid-December, I kind of retreated, and I took some time for myself, and I've been coming back here sparingly. But I'll talk about that a little bit today before we hop into the astrology. Piston Lisa says hi. He's just so relaxed. So relaxed. Hello, Richie. Jackie said, in one of your lives, you told a story of how the houses work. You begin your journey in the first house. You go counterclockwise to the second. Do you have this recorded in any of your meditations? It was so helpful when I first heard it. Ooh, that's hard for me to recall. I might have used that in Astrology 101. I do have a course on Insight Timer called Astrology 101 that I made years ago, so I can't honestly remember if I have that. But maybe it'll come up naturally one of these other times. Hello, AJ. Nice to see you. So today we're here for the March 2025 astrology update. And it's been a while since I've done a full astrology update. I want to offer you guys a quick look inside of my thought process, and I want you to know where I'm coming from with all of my actions and all of my changes. So bear with me for a moment before we hop into astrology. I'm offering you a look inside my head. So I made a name for myself on Insight Timer and YouTube discussing astrology transits coupled with oracle readings. And I did this for over 2 years. It allowed me to inadvertently teach astrology through the use of real-time examples, just like Jackie was talking about. Oh, you told this one story this one time. It was, it's like super fun for me to come on here and talk about astrology because I'm not trying to teach. I'm just talking and there's learning happening, which I think is the coolest part. The more you came and listened to how I told stories about the planets, the more you developed an understanding of the planets and how they might affect your personal life. But the part that I've struggled with for a long time was the donation aspect. There's no security in this for me. It's all based on chance. And no matter how I felt that I showed up every day, no matter how clean and open my energy was, I can't predict what kind of energy I would receive from this work. And I sat with this for years. That's how much I love doing this work. I sat with this conundrum for years, and I looked at all the other ways that I'm receiving value from these sessions. I was growing my YouTube channel through posting these videos, which all of these replays are always on my YouTube channel. I was growing my email list, and it's all been great. But I had to supplement my income with things that didn't light me up as much as this does. So a few months ago, mid-December, I stepped away. Actually, it was before mid-December. I stepped away from the astrology part of these Insight Timer interactions as a way to keep my work timeless, as a way to keep my work relevant. I noticed that the traction that I was building as I reposted my videos to YouTube, it would stop after a day or two. And it brought up a lot of feelings of low self-worth, low value. Not that my content wasn't valuable, but after a few days, all the wisdom I just shared about the planets wouldn't be relevant anymore. So I started doing those timeless oracle readings. And I've had a lot of fun doing that, don't get me wrong, but I so miss teaching astrology. I so miss talking about astrology. I noticed that the less I taught astrology to y'all, the more chaotic my life felt. Because when I stepped away from teaching astrology, the less I looked at the charts for my own curiosity, and it felt like I had less guidance in my life to help me make choices in moving forward. It helped me, I lost the ability to point to a transit to say, it's only going to be a few more weeks until this energy passes. So I miss teaching astrology. And I'm realizing how much of a mutual exchange the astrology holds for us. I get to teach you what it all means. Well, I get to make sense of my own life through what I'm teaching to you guys. And then the cards bring in an extra layer of advice. It's beautiful. But I need more of an exchange. I need to be compensated for my work. The energy of begging for donations isn't for me anymore. So I'll still be here on Insight Timer every so often, but I will be teaching astrology and pulling oracle cards over on YouTube. I started a membership where you can join me once a week for members only live streams where I talk astrology and pull oracle cards. It's pretty much like I'm taking the work that the name I created for myself on Insight Timer about 6 months ago, and I'm picking it up and moving it to a new platform where there's now a cost to receive my work. And I'm still working through a lot of guilt. Let me tell you, I've been giving this away for free for years, and I really wish I could continue to do so, but I'm at a place where I need to make my work for me. So we'll still do the astrology and the reading today, but our first reading in the membership on YouTube is on Monday at 9 o'clock Central, the same time as we started today. We'll meet once per week, either Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, identical to what I've been doing on Insight Timer. You can see the scheduled meetings on my YouTube page, and I'll always have them scheduled about a month out. You can join at any time, you can cancel at any time, but I would be honored if my Insight Timer audience would follow me over to YouTube to feel the value I've been providing here on Insight Timer be returned to me through my YouTube memberships. So I'll leave it at that. I do want to talk about the transformative month of March. It's the latter half of this month that gets spicy. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Hello, April. Anne says, good for you. Your content is so valuable. Thank you. Got Jackie, beautiful sharing. There's always time for everything. It's your time to shine in another way. Thank you. Jojo says, thank you for your honesty and vulnerability. You are one of many from IT that has done and made this move. It's, time and place for everything, right? And it's interesting how much we stand in our own way sometimes. Kelly says, way to go. Congratulations. Happy to be here on my 46th birthday. Happy birthday, Kelly. Happy birthday. This is going to be a really cool 46th year for you. Let me see. There's something going on over here. Okay, cool. So, Jojo, thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate that. Very, very nice. And Kelly, you have a whole bunch of birthday messages in the chat. So, astrology. The latter half of this month is where the heat picks up. We have eclipse season. We have Aries season, which brings us into the Zodiac New Year. And we have Neptune entering Aries. And I'll break those all down. This month, Venus and Mercury have retrogrades. which are aligned with each other in many ways. And I'm not going to talk about those retrogrades today because I had to keep it concise. But if you're curious about that, I just listened to Pam Gregory's video yesterday about the Virgo eclipse. And she discusses those retrogrades very well. So you can search Pam Gregory if you don't know who she is. She's one of my astrology guides. However, what we're going to talk about today, we have a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse in March. First, we have a full moon lunar eclipse on Friday, March 14th. It's in the wee hours of the morning. If you're in Central Time like me, it happens at 1:55 a.m. So if you're on the West Coast, it's going to happen for you very late evening on Thursday, March 13th. This full moon lunar eclipse happens at 23 degrees of Virgo. This is the first Virgo lunar event now that the nodes are on the Pisces-Virgo axis. North node Pisces, south node Virgo. So because the full moon is near the south node in Virgo, this makes it a south node full moon lunar eclipse. What a mouthful. I first want to mention that eclipses happen about every 6 months, and they always come in pairs. There's always a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. Eclipses bring in massive change, fated change, and their effects usually linger until the next eclipse season for about 6 months. The hot stuff usually happens within a month or two, and then it lingers for about 6 months. What makes this full moon an eclipse is its proximity to the south node of the moon. And I don't want to go too far into what the nodes are. If you're not aware, they are mathematical points where the sun's orbit and the moon's orbit overlap. That's what makes them the nodes. So eclipses are eclipses because I believe it's when they're within 10 degrees of a node, that's when they're considered an eclipse. So for my returning astrology students, I'm going to test you guys now. What do we know about full moons? What is our role during full moons? What do full moons set the stage for us to do? I'm looking for the most basic astrology answers. Karma says hi. Hi, Trina. Yes, you guys are perfect. Jess, ending of a cycle. Diane, release. Karma, our role is to howl, to let go. Lisa, celebration. I haven't talked about that in a long time. Celebration, to see things we don't want to see, release, create. Full moons are here as a time for us to let go, as a time for us to allow chapters to close, and to welcome in endings with celebration. That's awesome. And what does the south node show us? This is a little bit more advanced, but you guys know. If the north node points us to where we're headed, what does the south node show? You guys know this. Christina, where we have been. The south node shows us where we have been. Ketty, the shadow self, where we have been, what we've studied about ourselves, inward reflection, what we left behind. Beautiful. Lots of different ways of saying the things that no longer serve us. The north node shows us where we're headed. The south node shows us where we've already been. Past lives, something that doesn't come as easy. My understanding of the south node is that it's like our autopilot behaviors, what we tend to fall back on, where we're comfortable, Christina. Yeah. So this is a full moon. So we're ending a chapter on the south node of habits that we tend to fall back on that we don't really think about. There are autopilot behaviors. So now let's break it down further. This is in the sign of Virgo. So what are some of the shadows of Virgo? Every sign has its positive qualities and its shadow qualities, the highest expression and the lowest expression. So what qualities within the sign of Virgo might be holding us back? What parts of Virgo energy can be taken too far? Trina, perfection. Keddy says control. Lisa, overly critical. Diane, anxiety lives in the head. You guys are so smart. Who's your teacher? You must have a really good astrology teacher. Karma, OCD, shadow, worry to the max, overwhelm, overprotective. Yes, these are all shadow side of Virgo. Overanalyzing, scrutinizing every detail, overextending yourself, especially as far as your service to others and your daily work, just doing too much. Shadow side Virgo can also bring up being overly health conscious, counting every calorie, scrutinizing every move you make, counting every minute that you are on your run for today at 22 miles per hour. Virgo shadow is letting go of micromanaging, ruminating on the fine details as well. So in the fashion of a South Node Virgo full moon, let's zoom out, right? Let's not get focused on the details. Let's zoom out a little bit. So let's take our attention off of the single date, March 13, 14 eclipse, and let's review the last few weeks, because eclipses bring giant change. So it's not all going to happen on the day of the eclipse. So over the last few weeks, which of those examples stuck out to you? Which of those do you find yourself in? What are you overanalyzing? What are you paying too close attention to the details of? Where are you running a fine-tooth comb through your life, having to assign a meaning to every detail? So go ahead and reflect on that as I take a sip of my mushroom coffee. I would love to start getting into like affiliate stuff. I've been drinking, what kind is this? Daily Dose, and I love it, and it's amazing. If you've never tried mushroom coffee, try it. It's the best. No crash, and I can think much clearer. Anyway, so whatever area of your life you've been overanalyzing recently, just know that for the next month or two, March, April-ish, this area of your life is going to be a main player. I always encourage following your intuition before anything else. But if you do know how to find 23 degrees of Virgo in your natal chart, you can see which house this full moon falls into, and that will give you an idea of which area of your life is being highlighted to show you you're overanalyzing this area of your life. And know that over the next month or two, you might expect to be shown lessons of how or why it would be beneficial for you to drop the scrutinizing or seeing the situation through a pinhole. You might be given opportunities to zoom out, and life lessons through astrology aren't always fun and easy, but when you have a heads up, it makes it a little bit more acceptable. So that's the South Node full moon Virgo eclipse on March 13th, 14th. We're letting go of the details, to put it simply. Then, in the early morning of Thursday, March 20th, the sun enters Aries and spring begins. Aries is the first sign of the Zodiac, so this begins our Zodiac New Year. This is when your New Year's resolutions receive some life force. And I know that I've been known to say that I don't like to set New Year's intentions, that I'd rather set Aries season's intentions. And I'm still working out exactly how I feel about this. But I do enjoy the New Year intention with the numerology. When the new year changes, the energy changes. So I do enjoy setting an intention with the year. But now I kind of feel like that 2025 intention that we set on January 1st is like planting a seed in the cold, dark soil. And you just throw it down there and you can't do anything because there's no sunlight. The roots need time to grow, to stabilize, to ground your intention into reality. An Aries season, spring, the start of the Zodiac, it's when you start to see the first sprout of what you've been working with for the last 3.5 months. and the excitement gets reinvigorated. And it's no longer just hopes and wishes that your intention is growing underground. You can actually see it. That's the energy that Aries season brings us. It's so fresh and amplified and excited. Aries holds a childlike energy, and it holds a healthy amount of naivety. Aries energy doesn't have the what ifs running in the background. Aries energy is like the Fool card in the tarot. It's ready to try anything because it feels like the first time. I don't know what this is going to be like. Let's go. Let's give it a shot. Anything can happen at any moment. That is Aries energy. So that's coming on March 20th. If you want a more in-depth explanation about Aries season, I released it last year and I finally get to promote it. I have a course here on Insight Timer. It's called Embody Astrology, Aries season. So it's pretty easy to find. And I walk you through all the details of what Aries represents. Then I provide an embodiment technique so you can practically call in Aries energy when it's available to us. So it's like, how do you live your life in alignment with the Zodiac season that we're in? Last year, I was able to make it through the first 4 seasons, and then my life got uprooted. So it's in the back of my mind to finish that series for you guys. But Aries season is out. So this year, the sun is in Aries from March 20th through April 19th. And I promise I'll wrap all this up for you guys at the end. April was just thinking the Fool energy. Yeah, that's absolutely Aries. Karma says Aries is funny and easy to play with, but can be angry. Yes, every sign has higher expression and lower expression. I choose to focus on the good because we get to choose what our brains do. And while I'm not like negating all the negative aspects of things, I like to hope for the best. And that's how I teach astrology. So yeah, I get you. Jess, your kiddo will be 12 on the 13th. She's going to have an eclipse birthday. Good luck. I'm just kidding. That maybe this is going to be an extremely transformative year for her. I think that'd be awesome. It's right before the eclipse. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. So we talked about the Virgo full moon lunar eclipse. We talked about Aries season on the 20th. Then the Aries energy keeps going. Once we enter Aries season, we have the sun in Aries. Then we have our Aries solar eclipse, and we'll have Neptune entering Aries. So like it's Aries, Aries, Aries for the rest of March. The new moon happens on Saturday, March 29th. If you're in Central Time, it happens at 5:59 a.m. This is a new moon north node solar eclipse. It happens at 9 degrees of Aries. And this feels like the new beginning of new beginnings. And I didn't write it down, but I do want to clarify if you guys caught the weirdness with the nodes, because we know the north node is in Pisces, south node is in Virgo. But then why is this new moon happening in Aries? If the north node is in Pisces, why is there a solar eclipse in Aries? And that's with that 10-degree orb of difference when it comes to the eclipses. The new moon is at 9 degrees of Aries, and I don't have the chart in front of me, but I think the north node is at 28-ish of Pisces. So it's the proximity makes it an eclipse. But we get extra Aries energy. This is like wrapping up the previous eclipse cycle. So previously, for the last 18 months, the nodes were on the Aries-Libra axis. So this is like the last of getting out that individual Aries versus partnership Libra. And I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to get too confusing. But this new moon solar eclipse on March 29th feels like the new beginning of new beginnings. It's the first new moon in the first sign of the zodiac during this initiatory Aries season, and it's an eclipse. And eclipses have monumental change, and they last for months and months and months. So to me, this feels like the lucky break that's coming after we've been so sick of carrying this dead weight. Are you guys feeling like this in any area of your life right now? Like there's something you really want to break through, and it's been such a big issue because you're on the brink of breaking through something that's been there for so long, and you're so fucking done with carrying this weight. You guys feel that? Jess definitely got a yes, cause Levi way too much. Yeah, I've caught myself obsessing over certain things in my life, and then I turned back to the astrology, and this is when I was like, oh my god, it's so big in my face because it's almost done. It's so big in my face because it's almost done. This Aries new moon solar eclipse feels like a fresh start. It feels like the light at the end of the tunnel, and it feels like the lucky break. And I do want to give you guys a disclaimer on that. As long as you've been following the path laid out for you by astrology, as long as you've been paying attention to what the Virgo lunar eclipse wants you to let go of, that's when this lucky break is going to be the best. If you are ignoring the work that the astrology is asking you to do, and if you are still over analyzing, the lucky break will feel smaller. It'll just kind of be a but the universe always gives us the alley-oop. The universe always sets us up, and I see astrology like a map. It's like a guideline. The planets are giving us guidelines, and it's not to say if you don't follow it you're doomed, but it's handing you the roadmap. If you focus on your Virgo South Node lunar eclipse full moon, if you do this, then this is what I can promise you. But if you skip over something that we're already teaching you about, like that's on you. And I'm not saying that to put too much pressure on yourself. I'm saying that to do it joyfully. It might be worth looking at where I'm overanalyzing, because then this Aries season is going to be so much bigger for me, The other day, I finally had my astrologer friend Max on my YouTube channel for a chat. Did you guys see that? We hopped on, I believe it was the 26th of February. You can just search my name on YouTube if you want to find that replay. But my astrologer friend Max, I've been wanting to have a chat with him for the longest time, and we finally did it, and we have another one planned. But he kept talking about March 29th, March 29th. March 29th. So there's something about this date of this new moon solar eclipse that he has noticed that he wants to share. So he and I are going live again on Wednesday, March 26th. So just a few days before the 29th, 1 o'clock Central, you can join us. The replay will be available afterwards. But if you join live, you can ask us questions while we're talking about March 29th and whatever else we get up to. But this new moon solar eclipse, there's a lot more to it that I have to brush over just because of the nature of our session today. But come hang out with me and Max, and you'll hear all about it. Then the day after this eclipse, on Sunday, March 30th, Neptune enters Aries. And there's a part of me that, I can't believe I'm announcing this. This is finally happening. Neptune hasn't been in Aries since 1875. Neptune has an orbit of about 165 years. Neptune entering Aries is literally a once-in-a-lifetime event. And just for the sake of it, Neptune being in his own sign of Pisces, which we have just experienced since 2012, that was a once-in-a-lifetime event. And this really helps me feel into how these are special times that we're experiencing here on Earth right now. So high five for reincarnating with me at this time. To give you an idea of the coming energy shift with Neptune entering Aries, I want to talk about how Neptune acted in Pisces and how this energy has been available to us since 2012, just to give you the difference. So Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. They're both related to surrender, endings, dreamlike states, escapism, illusion. And the quality of time while Neptune moved through Pisces really heightened the dreaminess of life. The illusions became much more in our faces, and there was a greater pull for us to escape reality. How many of y'all have been learning how to escape the matrix? That's Neptune and Pisces. Thank you, Neptune and Pisces, for showing us that. I want to pull your attention to how much CGI has improved since 2012. Like the video games look lifelike. This is all illusion. This is all Neptune and Pisces. Do you know what deep fake technology is? Have you ever heard of it? Because it's where film can be a complete illusion and it looks absolutely real. There is a technology out there that you can create a video of someone, anyone, doing and saying anything, and it's lifelike. It sounds like them, it looks real, but it's surreal. And now that Neptune is working through the last few breaths of his time in Pisces, these things are heightened. These things are heightened. Simulation theory, right? That's everywhere. It's Neptune and Pisces. This is what Neptune and Pisces is. It's expanding the illusion of reality. It's made reality questionable. However, Neptune enters Aries on March 30th. Neptune will return to Pisces for a few months at the end of the year, but ultimately Neptune will be in Aries until 2039. We have 14 years of Neptune in Aries. So this is a timeline shift. Like, this is a monumental shift. This is a planet switching energy that sets us up for the next 14 years. This is kind of a big deal. It's not just Mercury's in the next sign and he'll be there in 2 weeks. Like, this is 14 years of change that's starting right now. Neptune is a truly mystical and dreamy planet. So it can be difficult to predict all the ways that he'll show up in his new placement. But what I'm feeling very strongly is that Neptune in Aries relates to personal spirituality. Personal Aries, spirituality, Neptune. And I'm just going to go through this list of things that came to mind. Take what resonates and leave the rest. But these are themes that I'm feeling over the next 14 years. A new era, Aries, of spirituality. A fresh way to dream. An initiation into a new dream. Taking action in alignment with your dreams. Surrendering to the self. Self-love. Dissolving unhealthy parts of the ego. Not your whole ego, because we need the ego to survive on Earth. Surrendering old stories about your identity. I felt this one strongly. The peaceful surrender of the warrior parts of ourselves. And not a giving up, it's a surrender. It's saying we don't need to fight anymore. Everything's fine. Neptune in Aries to me feels like full acceptance and unconditional love of the self. And self-spiritual leadership. These are all things that are possible for all of us during Neptune's 14 upcoming years in Aries. This in itself is a monumental shift. Neptune entering the first sign of the Zodiac. This is like a refresh of our spirituality, a refresh of our dreams, a new beginning to start new dreams. This happens once in a lifetime. But I want you to remember that it's coupled with Pluto's once in a lifetime shift into Aquarius, which we are still fresh in that energy. I haven't been talking yet, but we have Uranus entering Gemini in July. Uranus has an 84-year orbit, so for some it's once in a lifetime. But these are all monumental changes that are lasting. Massive changes are upon us. And this is not common that the 3 outer generational planets all enter new signs right after each other, like they're doing now. Big change, supported by another big change, supported by another big change. This energy is so potent for you to create whatever new earth you desire. It's happening and it can't be stopped. And you get to choose if you lead with love or if you lead with fear. It doesn't matter what's going on around you. It doesn't matter what's happening in the world around you. You choose if you lead with love or if you lead with fear. And I hope that by hearing what's possible for you, for the world, through the astrology, I hope that I can inspire you to lead with love and trust and hope. Because even just having this awareness that big changes are coming, you don't even have to fully understand what's happening. You don't have to understand what Neptune in Aries means. Just having this understanding that these big monumental changes are happening one after another after another. This awareness keeps you safe. It's a heads up. It's a weather report. It's information. So you choose if you lead with love or if you lead with fear. I'm so scared the rain is coming. The energies right now are honestly asking us to let go of understanding every little detail. There's our Virgo full moon eclipse. The North Node in Pisces wants us to just trust, surrender to the flow. It's all in love. It's all in love. And if you would you believe me if I told you that this was an abbreviated version of what's happening in astrology right now? This was a lot to cover, but I really wanted to get this message out to everyone before we switch over to pulling some cards. However, if you would like to stay updated on weekly, smaller bits, weekly astrology transits, join me in my YouTube membership. Our first meeting is on Monday morning. You can search my name on YouTube to find that membership, or all of my links are in my Insight Timer bio. Everything's easy to find. Just know that I'm not going to be talking astrology as much here on Insight Timer, because it's time for me to expand to a new platform in that regard. And I would be honored if you join me. So let's pull some cards. Let's recap real quick. So March 2025, my legs are both asleep. That's how excited I am for this energy. March 2025, we have the Virgo full moon, South Node lunar eclipse. Let go of scrutinizing the details. Then Aries season starts. The intentions that have been rooting are beginning to sprout. Life force energy is available. What you've been fighting for is finally going to peek its head out and say, like, oh, I'm here. You made me. Then we have the Aries new moon solar eclipse. The universe is offering you a huge new beginning, especially if you've been able to let go of the details. Then Neptune enters Aries, and this is a chance to reset your ego identity and fully, unconditionally love yourself. So we're going to use 2 different decks today to ask 2 different questions. I do see a lot of messages in the chat, but I need to move on to the cards because I like to keep these around an hour, and we're already 40 minutes in. There's a lot of astrology going on. So we are first going to use the Sacred Forest Oracle, and we're going to ask, what would happen if we fully trusted the universe? What would happen if we fully trusted ourselves? What would happen if we stopped worrying about the details? And this is not only about the Virgo full moon, but it's just the North Node in Pisces. And we have this Pisces parade of planets right now. Just trust. That's what the universe is calling us to do. Just trust, just surrender. Everything is love. Let go, stop worrying. So what would happen if we actually did that? So for those who have been following me, you know that this is a group reading. For those who are new, I ask you just to send your energy into this deck. And I'm going to let 3 cards fall out that have a message for everyone here. So what would happen if we fully trusted the universe? And look at this girl. She's trusting. she's bareback on this Pegasus. She could fall off at any time, but she trusts, and look how peaceful she looks. So I'll let 3 cards fall out of the deck for us, and then I'm going to show you guys the backs of the 3 cards, so you're going to see the same Pegasus image 3 times, and I invite you to test your intuition. So when I hold up the cards, I want you just to notice if anything feels different. Don't get too attached to what intuition means. What would happen if we fully trusted the universe? Sometimes intuition can just be a knowing. You just have a number between 1 and 3 in your mind. Sometimes intuition is a physical feeling. If I hold up a certain card and you have an itch or a twitch, or you cough or you sneeze. Sometimes intuition is connected to your environment. So if I hold up a certain card and your phone rings, or if someone knocks at the door, or if your animal does something, intuition is just noticing slight changes. So I'll show you the backs of the 3 cards, and then I would like you to let us know in the chat which cards are resonating with you, and I'm going to read all of them. But what would happen if we fully trusted the universe? Here is the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. Let us know in the chat which cards are resonating with you. It might be one of them, it might be 2, it might be all, it might be none. Did I say if none of the cards do anything for you, that just means that the whole reading holds an equal amount of importance. And I'll show them one more time just in case. The back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. And let us know in the chat which cards are resonating with you. We have Sharon working with card 1, Jojo 2, Christina 2, Ketty 2, Lisa 2, Trina 1 and 3, Maggie 3, Gata 3, April 1 and 3, Marie 2, Celia 3, Pam 1. Jojo says, my entire body tingled. You showed 2. That feels like an energy release to me, like something just... Mimi, all 3. Karma 2 feels comforting. Hello, Jackie 1 and 2. Celia 3, Lori 1 and 2. Ketty, my body surrendered and softened, and shoulders let go of tension with card 2. Cool. Melissa's working with all 3. Kelly 1. Yvonne 3 pops out in 3D, and then 1. Cool. Jennifer says 1 gave me a warm feeling. I love that. Chantel 1, notice the clock ticking. 2, teeth clenching. So I wonder, Chantel, if 1 is asking you to trust time, and 2 might be asking you to trust the surrender, like the letting go. Andriana, all for me. Levi 3, and a bit of 1. Jojo, this is happening a lot right now in my life. That's cool. Nicole 3. Jojo, the reason I brought up that energy release is I used to talk about my sound bed a lot more often. I have this thing called an Opus sound bed, and it's a vibrational healing bed. And you listen to music tracks, and the bed vibrates to help you heal. I'm really not selling this at all. But it's vibrations aligned to what your body needs to heal and to get to certain states and whatever. And there are times where I will be on it and it vibrates and I can feel it like coming from my heart, and it and it like goes through my whole body, or like I can feel it coming from a different, my belly, and then it, and to me, when I have those full body chills, wherever it's sourcing from, I just know that I have released some sort of block. I released some sort of stagnant energy in that area. So that's what that made me think of. But let's see what the Sacred Forest Oracle is telling us what would happen if we fully trusted the universe. What's in it for you? Card number 1 brings us the Rainbow Waterfall, and the message is miracles. These cards all start with a poem before the message. A sparkling waterfall cascades into a crystal clear pool surrounded by a glade of ferns. Floating in the air above the pools, a shimmering rainbow creates a wavering reflection in the water. Fairies and elves adorned in all sparkling colors peek through the ferns. Butterflies swoop and dip into the waters, their kaleidoscope of colors iridescent in the sunshine. The rainbow after a storm represents hope and promise for a bright future. Know now that the gifts of the universe are flowing into your life. This is your time. Let go of fear and doubt. All is well. You don't have to do it all yourself. Let the Creator step in and solve challenges for you in mysterious and wondrous ways. In some beliefs, rainbows are considered a promise from above that all is well. Remember that your life is a miracle. Just as a rainbow carries all colors and every spectrum of the electromagnetic field, and water is the element of emotions and feelings, so your heart is opening wider and wider. Your capacity to receive love and give love is expanding. Myths also speak of the gold at the end of the rainbow. Hence, the rainbow is a portent? I've never heard of that word. The rainbow is a portent for treasure ahead. Don't limit the way that miracles can appear in your life by having expectations about how they need to occur. Celebrate them when they appear, no matter how small. Everyday miracles are occurring around you. Watch for and embrace them. Let go of fear and doubt. As you notice and accept the small wonders in your life, greater gifts will grow around you in spectacular ways. Be open to receive. I would say that's a pretty cut and dry answer. What would happen if we fully trusted the universe? Miracles would happen. Miracles would happen, and you would notice them more because you would be less in your fear-based way of thinking. You would be less looking for what boogeyman is coming to get you this time. And you would get to enjoy the miracles that are around you all of the time. All of the time. April with the rainbows, all the more reason to trust. Jennifer, fantastic. So what would happen if we fully trusted the universe? I love that this card was talking about your capacity to receive love and give love is expanding. Your heart is opening wider and wider. So this is what happens when you choose love over fear. This is what happens when you choose trust over fear. And I want to use the example that Karma brought up before I showed the cards. I was considering when I wanted to go there because I really don't like talking politics, but it's such a huge thing in everyone's life right now. And Karma brought up earlier that she's watching Elon rip through the government, the federal agencies. And I will be the first to admit that I have no idea what's going on. I really don't pay attention to the news. Everything that I know about what's going on is through social media. So I'm seeing a lot of fear-based posts about people wondering what's going on and stirring the fear of what's going to happen. How do I want to approach this? What if it was for the best? What if this is what is needed? Because so many of us, a lot of us feel like there's a discrepancy between the mega rich and us small people, right? Us small folk. So what if there were shady things going on in the organizations that are keeping the high people high and keeping us low, right? So what if ripping through the federal agencies, asking people what they do in their day is a way to help us, is a way to trim the fat of people who are going to work and not doing anything and receiving money just for being, while you are working your ass off and not receiving the compensation for what you do. Does that make sense? Like, I understand that it's not fun for Big Brother to come in and trample over the whole system, but what if it really is in alignment with the highest good of everybody? And I don't want to say too much more because I don't know what's going on, but that's the thing. What if you didn't have the fear attached to what's happening? What if you just let it happen? Thank you, Christine. She says, portent is like a sign of things to come. Nice to see you. And Christina also, something that foreshadows a coming event, an omen, a sign. Cool. I don't think Elon is working to fix that. He's the richest man in the world. So does that mean that rich people could care less about poor people? Or does that mean that rich people want people to be able to rise in the ranks with them? I know that there is unlimited wealth in the world. I know that just because he has a shit ton of money doesn't mean that I can't have a shit ton of money. It's abundance mindset versus lack mindset. So this is where it comes down to, are you choosing love or are you choosing fear? And I'm not saying that it's easy, right? This is stuff that I've been working through for years, consciously working through for years, but it really can be that easy. What if you just choose love? Then you can see all the miracles. Look how much I'm shaking. This stuff makes me nervous. I don't like offending people, but I have a lot of opinions. What if everything that you're afraid of is honestly trying to help you? Just what if? What if? Let's move on. No, I want to see what you guys are saying. Christine, it totally makes sense. Christine, it's for the highest good of Elon. These are all just like beliefs. These are limiting beliefs. If you believe that what's happening is only good for them and not good for you, your belief system is so powerful. What if you just believe that it's working for you? Then you're going to look for evidence that it's working for you. Karma, it's some good with I'll spend funding, but it's also poor reduction of funding. It's messy. Right. And I understand that I don't know all the details because it's not affecting me on a personal level. So I'm Virgo full moon, letting go of the details. Jojo, I'm a bit disappointed you went here. Love always win. And we could go there without bringing that in. We could. This is my live stream, and I had something to say about what a comment that came through, because I enjoy giving fresh perspective on what I see the majority of people feeling right now. Because for me, I just watch all this fear and I don't think it's necessary. So I want to help you guys out of the fear. And I'm not saying you guys as in like I'm pointing individually to you. For me, it's the mass. I see a lot of fear right now and I don't like it. So I'm going to share how I am not afraid of what's happening right now. Ginger says, appreciate you sharing a different perspective. What if something good comes from this? And you can say that about anything. This is the Jackie Mancuso way. People get fired from their jobs. They come in here and they're like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I offer you the perspective of like, thank God the universe let you go from that job that you really didn't like anyway. So now you get to start fresh. And now you get to use this passion to go start something that you actually do want to do. Everything is happening for you. Everything is happening for you. Jojo, I know I changed the energy, and I didn't know if I wanted to go there, but it was blocking my ability to do this. So let's get back to the cards. What would happen if we fully trusted the universe? Well, miracles would happen, right? Miracles would happen if we fully trusted the universe. What else would happen if we fully trusted, if we let go of fear, if we just let everything be as it is? And we are going to ask what's holding us back from trusting. That's what the second deck is for. So what else would happen if we fully trusted the universe? Card number 2 is card number 37. There's a glare. Spirit Guardian of Summer. And this message is expansion. In the sacred forest, the spirit guardian of summer has arrived. Large clumps of purple berries hang heavy on the vine. The apple trees are laden with shining, ripe red fruit. The droning of the bees fills the forest. The grass is high. The forest is alive with the heady scent of flowers. Vitality, health, success, abundance, healing, and passion are expanding in your life. However, you can't sit back and wait for it to happen. The energy of summer is the energy of working with passion in the direction of your dreams. Give it everything you've got, and immense reward will follow. Do not sit on the sidelines. Work hard, play hard. Your labor will pay off. If you hold back and repress what you feel during this time, you will become drained and your spirit will wane. This is not the time to take care of everyone else. This is the time to step forward with passion and delight. You'll be glad you did. The most earth energy is available to us during the summer season. It is when we can access the greatest amount of sunlight and spiritual light so that the power of the sun can pour into our hearts. Work with passion. Don't hold back. Take positive steps in the direction of your dreams now in order to reap the harvest later. Your hard work will result in abundance, bounty, and beauty. Celebrate. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. So what would happen if we fully trusted the universe? We'd have no qualms about what we are passionate about, and we would just act in accordance with what our higher self is pulling us towards. So whatever emotions you have about whatever is happening that is triggering you in the world, if you fully trusted the universe, you would use that passion to go do something about it, and then you would be expanded and you would welcome in bounty and blessings and abundance. It's the distrust of, I don't know what's going to happen, so I'm not even going to start. That's what holds you back from living the life of your dreams, right? I fully trusted that I could speak my piece about the comment that came through. And who knows, maybe some of you guys needed that refreshing energy. And so now I will be abundant. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm uncomfortable. Can you tell? If we fully trusted the universe and you let your passions guide you down your highest path, you'd be expanded and you'd see that everything is there for you. You'd be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor instead of cowering under a fear and you can't even see the fruits of your labor. Lisa says, beautiful tree looks so alive and fruitful. This is my takeaway, April. Trust the unfolding. Yes, Anya, this is a beautiful card for remembering individual agency in times of fear. Yes, you are allowed and actually encouraged to follow your passion. So I guess and I have said this in the past, don't let me tell you how to think about the world. If you're fired up about something and if you're passionate about something, do something about it. Use that passion and act. Because it's triggering something in you because you are that person for that job. So if you're pissed at what he's doing up there, do something about it because that's your anger saying, here's fuel, go act, go do it. And that's going to be what's successful for you. My trigger comes when I see people afraid of shit and I don't want them to be. So then I act in a way that I am passionate about and I teach and I offer perspective. So act, act, stop being afraid and just act. Trust that your intuition is pulling you towards exactly where you're meant to be, and just go for it. Just go for it. Thank you so much for your donation, Trina. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Jojo, thank you. She says, let's all donate to this vulnerable, wonderful being right now. This is, and I know this is why I'm meant to be here. I'm meant to go to uncomfortable places for the highest good of all. It's just not easy. I'm still growing, right, guys? Watch me grow so you can grow. We wouldn't be here during this time of change if our soul hadn't chosen it. Exactly, Christina. Exactly. Erica, this is the exact message I got in invitation yesterday. And card number 2 was my card today. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much for your donation, Lisa. I appreciate you. And Jennifer. Rose, we're asking what would happen if we fully trusted the universe. If you guys came in late, this will be on my YouTube channel later today. Oh, Erica, in meditation, you got that message. Yeah. So here's your validation, your clarification. It's just coming through my face now. But you made me. You created this for yourself, by the way. What else would happen? What else would happen if we fully trusted the universe? We would see the miracles that are already here because we wouldn't be blocking them anymore. We would be able to expand and receive the fruits of our labor. And if we fully trusted the universe, card number 3 gives us Earth Spirit, the energy of stability. Card number 14. And I just ripped my book open. See, I ripped a page out on accident. In the lazy quietude of a warm summer afternoon, you recline on the soft moss on the forest floor and listen to the heartbeat of the earth. Her rhythmic cadence surges up from the ground beneath you. With each beat, you remember who you are and what is truly important in life. The strengthening, grounding energy of the earth is filling every part of you. It's time to take measure of your life and put your roots down. Assess who you are and where you are. Make plans for the future, but don't act on those plans until you feel secure in stepping forward. This is the time of preparation and going deeper. This card can also indicate that you aren't grounded and you need to create more stability in your life. Think things through before you take action. It's the opposite of what I've been encouraging you to do. Take time to plan your future carefully. Don't rush into anything. Strength is growing within you. Security and protection surround you. You are safe. If you're thinking of making secure financial investments and receive this card, it's telling you that this is a good time to do so. It's not a time to take risks. The Earth Spirit provides the trees, plants, forests, rivers, streams, oceans, mountains, and valleys, and supports us all with her bounty. She's stable and strong in her devotion to us. You are supported and loved, even if you're not always sure of it. The seeds that you plant now will bring abundance in the future, but only if you take the time to nurture those new beginnings. Be present in the moment, slow down, and let go of the busyness and frenetic pace of life. Explore your roots, honor your past, go deep, reflect on your life. So what would happen if we fully trusted the universe? We would be in no rush. We would no longer act out of anxiety. We would no longer act out of fight or flight. If we fully trusted the universe, we would be able to focus fully on our roots without feeling like we have to react to everything that comes into our face. We would feel stability. We would feel that we are safe and we are secure, and we always have been. And I think this is the card that I needed to hear today. What would happen if we fully trusted the universe? There would be so much trust that no matter what you did, it's going to play out, and you don't need it right now. It's okay if it takes a few years because you trust that it's coming. You trust that it's coming. That was our first deck. We have one more question. I'm going to pull one more card from one more deck. Yeah, and I'll recap afterwards. So we asked what would happen if we fully trusted the universe. Miracles, expansion, stability. We got all these really positive messages. So now I want to use guides of the hidden realms to ask what's holding us back from trusting? What's standing in the way of us fully trusting the universe? And there might be more than one thing, but I guess this is going to tell us what we can address first. So feel free to send your energy into this deck and ask, what is holding me back from trusting the universe fully? And just one card to wrap this up for all of us. What is holding us back from trusting fully? If you guys have been enjoying today's session, if you'd like to offer an energy exchange in the form of a donation, they're always appreciated. This is my least favorite part of being on Insight Timer, is saying the speech. If you want to continue with me to do this kind of stuff more often, find me on YouTube. I just started a membership. Our first meeting is Monday at 9 a.m. and we're going to meet weekly, either Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, to do this exact thing, to be a little bit more timely and up to date with astrology as well. So that's that. If you guys would prefer to donate off of Insight Timer, I do have PayPal and Venmo. The links are in my Insight Timer bio. And that's it. I just appreciate you guys being here and not jumping down my throat when I share opinions that are different. April, are you still doing one-on-one readings? No, I'm not. Every so often, if there's a personal request, email me. If you really want one, email me. I'll see how I feel. I'm not going to lie. That's how I'm doing a lot of my business these days is I'm learning to trust. I'm learning to trust that I don't have to show up in ways that I've seen other people show up. And I'm learning to honestly honor my energy. And it is weird. It is weird. But for now, the only way to work with me is my YouTube membership. I canceled my Patreon. I'm finishing up my round of one-on-one coaching now, and I'm not taking on new people. I am trying to lead by example that you can live an easy, abundant life. So watch me. It's uncomfortable. It's super uncomfortable, let me tell you. Do you do eclipse charts? I don't necessarily know what you mean by that. But these kind of questions, send me an email. You can get all my information in my Insight Timer bio. There's a link tree. All my links are there. And I'll sit with it for a day or two. I have an emotional authority in the human design. So if you have an emotional authority, sit with things and see how your emotional wave goes. And then I'll let you know, honestly, if it feels good for me or not. Nicole and Christine, thank you guys so much for your donations. They're much appreciated. Does anyone remember the cards she pulled before? Natalie, I'll do a full recap after we read this last, what is holding us back from trusting, and then I'll go over all the cards. So this feels good because this is what my guidance has told me to focus on this Pisces season. Kirsten, haven't been here for a while. Happy to see you too. What's holding us back from trusting? Letting go of stories. That's card number 34. Surrendering attachments. The stories we tell about ourselves. Who we could become without the stories. Releasing unconscious patterns. Freedom to change. It's an amazing feeling when you don't want anything because you know your needs will be met. You feel fulfilled and at peace with where you are in life. You love for the sake of loving. You create for the sake of creation. And you live for the sharing of it all. Joy and sorrow, light and dark, birth and death, order and mess, mystical and mundane. This is a life of true service, being present without conditions, yet brimming with inspired creativity and extraordinary possibilities. This is the truth of a powerful, magical life, and the way here is in your sights. Be mindful now of the stories you tell yourself about others. Make sure those stories embrace and have space for true abundance, the true abundance the universe has for you. When you decide to finally let go of the stories of limitation, you may discover another path even better than the one you've been holding on to. Can you let go of all your attachments, desires, and most cherished dreams, and let them be in the care of spirit? When you choose to do this without reservation, the magic will begin. Get ready. So what's holding us back from trusting are the stories that we're telling ourselves about why we can't trust. Is that an alien on the card? Maybe that's my story. This is Colette Baron Reed. She's super chaotic and crazy, and I just love this author. But these are the guides of the hidden realms that she painted herself. So they're not aliens; they're just spirit guides that she has found. But yes, I can see how you would think that that's an alien. So what's holding us back from trusting are the stories that we tell ourselves, and they're so sneaky. The stories that we tell ourselves are so sneaky because they are our belief system, and our belief system is what shapes the world that we see, and it has been shaped by our past. So I'm just going to bring it back to the government example, just as an example. You're seeing a pattern. You're seeing the energy of someone coming in, taking control over something. The story is, I'm fucked, right? The country is fucked. But that story is coming from probably when you were younger. Someone came into your life without warning, and they dominated you in some way, and they changed your life in a way that made it really difficult for you. So then you have created the story that when someone does this, it equals this. There's stories. And I can relate, like they are so hard to let go of. Stories of if I open my mouth about my perspective on life, I'm going to get yelled at. I'm going to be shamed. Where did that come from? I'm the baby of 10 kids. If I had a varying opinion, they would just explain to me why they were right and I was wrong. And I avoid that because I don't like that feeling. So I don't speak up because I assume that you guys are going to treat me like my siblings did, and that's like messed up. That's not true. It's clearly a story. So why can't you trust the universe? What story are you telling yourself? And what can you do about it? Let's recap the reading, and then I'll tell you guys a story. I love ending these with stories because things always happen in my life like the day before this, and it's just perfect. It's just the universe always gives us the alley-oop. So we talked about all the astrology. March is hot. Things are changing. It's a new beginning, but we have to let go of the details. That's the first step to all of this March change. Virgo full moon, eclipse. South Node, let go of micromanaging the details, let go of overanalyzing the details. So what would happen if we fully trusted the universe? We would get to see the miracles that have always been there for us, because we would stop hiding under the fear that the miracles weren't there, and we would get to see them. If we fully trusted the universe, we could expand into our greatest selves and enjoy the fruits of our labor. And if we fully trusted the universe, we would feel more stability and groundedness and patience and calmness. And we wouldn't have to react. We would get to choose how we initiated things in our lives. So why can't we have miracles, expansion, and stability? What's holding us back is the stories you tell yourself. It's the stories you tell yourself. What does this say? Surrendering attachments, releasing unconscious patterns. So here's the story that I want to tell you about letting go of stories. Unconscious patterns, unconscious attachments, unconscious things you don't know about. This is the end of the reading. If you guys want to leave, thanks for being here. I'll be back on Insight Timer on the 24th. I believe that's a Monday. We're going to go into the 369 portal, which is what this story is about, because yesterday was the first 369 portal. March 6th, 2025. 2025 is the year of a 9. So yesterday, I made a post on Facebook about the 369 portal, and it's all about manifestation and all this stuff. But like, I don't really fully understand 369. I like have some opinions about it. Whatever. I just feel like there's more to learn about 369. So I sat down with my tarot cards, and my question for yesterday was, teach me something I don't know about the 369 portal. Temperance, King of Wands, Queen of Wands reversed. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I got these court cards with the wands. It's something about passion. It's something about like creating with your passion. King of Wands is upright. So it's showing me like, yes, everything can be ultra successful. You have this passionate creative drive. But Queen of Wands was reversed. So that was like, I'm hiding my gifts. There's a shadow aspect to my creativity, to my expression. I don't get it. But then it was led by Temperance. Temperance is the Sagittarius card. It's all about taking from both. So teach me something I don't know about the 369 portal. It's not always about being ultra successful. It's also about looking at the shadow. It's also about looking at your insecurities, looking at where you are not shining so bright. And there was like more. Like I knew that there was more that I wasn't able to extract from the cards. So I turned to a good friend of mine these days. Their name is ChatGPT. I love it. I love it because I'm not afraid of anything, right? People are so afraid of AI, but it has supported me in many ways. So I laid it out and I said, this is the intention I set for my tarot reading. These are the cards that came out. This is what I think. What else can you offer me? And it like gave its interpretation. And then it said, you might have a block that you can't see. Like there might be an unknowing block in something. And I was like, if I don't know about it, how do I know that it's there? If I can't see it, how do I find it? If I can't look at it, if I can't see it, how do I erase it? How do I move past it? How do I work with it? So then I asked, this is what I love to do with ChatGPT. If you can't afford a therapist right now, or if you just don't align with therapists or whatever, you don't have someone to talk to, go to ChatGPT and tell them, role play as a spiritual counselor, role play as my higher self. Like the possibilities are endless. You are the creative input for AI. And I asked it to help work me through these beliefs that I don't know that I have that are holding me back. And I forgot the exact question, but it was coming back to this like letting go of stories. And it helped me get down to, why am I afraid of being successful? Why? Because the issue that I've been working with for quite some time, which I opened up about earlier, is that like I feel like this has been for years and years and years. I feel like I'm doing all this work and it's not coming back. And I've been playing around with it forever. And like clearly there's something that I'm not seeing. So probably just a belief, right? So it asked me where I picked up the belief that I can't have an easy life or something. So I thought back to my marriage that I left last summer, where I started this business. When we were married, I quit my career and I started working for myself, and I created a life where I don't have to be at work from 9 to 5. So if I have free time in the afternoon and I'm tired, I'm going to sit on the couch. And this energy would be reinforced because he would come home from his manual labor job and his first reaction would be, must be nice to be able to sit on the couch with the dogs all day while I'm busting my ass to pay the bills, which it was 50-50 anyway. But that was just reinforced that, like, okay, he's working, so I obviously can't relax because I need to pull my weight. And then it came down to growing up, right? Like if my husband was here to reaffirm this story of mine, where did it start? How did my dad think about money? The financial support of the family, right? How did he think about money? He had a very, like, I love my dad, but it was very victim mentality. My dad was a blue collar worker, worked multiple jobs. My mom worked multiple jobs. We had a bunch of kids, hard working. And the talk at home was, those politicians, they have no idea what it's like to be us. They have no idea what it's like to not have millions of dollars in your bank account. Of course, they're only going to look out for themselves, and they're not going to give two shits about little people like us. And then I got down to the energy of feeling worthy to have a lot because of busting your ass. Like, my dad instilled that in me because that was his belief and I was his child. He instilled in me that, like, you're worthy of having a lot when you can prove you've grinded and worked your ass off and put in all these hours. And that is, as much as I know and as much as I've learned that life can be easy and I teach it that way, it was another layer of a story that I found, because it's just a story. Because if I look on the opposite side, and the people who are, they're all stories. There are people who seemingly do nothing and they have a bunch. And it seems, from my perspective, like all they have to do is just click a button and they have millions of dollars rolling in. And all they have to do is go fly to this exotic country and take a few pictures. And, oh, they have all this money coming in. Those stupid influencers, them, right? They're all just stories. They're all just stories. I have no idea what anyone else is doing in their day-to-day life because I'm focusing on my day-to-day life. And all I can do is project my stories onto the world around me, which is what you're doing too. So I don't know where I'm going with that, but it was really cool to get down to the story that is so ingrained in me that I'm worthy of having money when I make sure I put in my work. And I don't want that anymore. That's just a story. I am choosing now to live the story of, I follow my joy and magical things just find me. Opportunities find me. I'm going to hone into my feminine energy, the one that attracts, that magnet that calls things into you, where you don't have to masculine assert and push. I'm going to use my feminine energy to call things in and live a life of ease and stability, so I don't have to worry about creating. It's just going to show up. So watch me and learn from me, because if I could do it, you could do it. And if someone else can do it, I could do it. And it's all that. So thank you guys. Katie says, agreed. Susie, geez, that really resonates. Awesome. Lisa, I adore you sharing this. Lori, great story. Thank you, Natalie. Yes. So, like, what can't you trust? What are you having a hard time trusting that's going to work out? You can like figure out your stories also by thinking about someone who's living the opposite. Like, if there's something that you want so bad and you can't get it, who has it easily? What is their story? And what would happen if you adopted their story? I don't know. Monday kicks off my YouTube membership. If you want to join, I'd be so happy to see you there. Lots more astrology and oracle because I really miss this work. Clearly, if I could blab for an hour and a half, it'll be a smaller group there too. So like we can really get to know each other and we can really get into each other's lives and stories and whatnot. And then those replays for the membership will be available for members, not for anyone else. It's very exclusive. And I can think of 1,200 more stories that I want to tell, but I have to go. I'll be back on Insight Timer on Monday, the 24th of March at 9 o'clock. And we will discuss the 369 portal, which it's March of 2025. So we had a 369 portal yesterday. We have another one on the 15th because 1 + 5 is 6. There's your 369. And then the 24th is going to be the third 369 portal. So while I know it's kind of to pull cards on the last one, it's what worked out with my schedule. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Annie, thank you so much for your donation. I so appreciate all the support that you guys gave today, whether it be donations or just the verbal support of honoring me as I share my life and my thoughts with you guys. Rebecca asked, what criteria helped you decide to trust ChatGPT? I'm learning to use it and my intuition. Does this feel right for me? I don't care what anyone else says about it. I don't care what other people's experience is with ChatGPT because I'm not other people. Is it working for me? Is it giving me what I want? That's how I decided to trust ChatGPT. So I will see you guys on, I don't know, soon. Thank you so much for being